Hi Virgo, and welcome to your October 2023 astrology horoscope. October is eclipse season. Yay! I mean, as a Virgo, you are the one that's the most excited for growth and learning opportunities. So I know that you can handle this month for sure. But if there is a little bit of stress, a little bit of uncertainty within you about this month, about what it's going to mean for you, and perhaps you want a more personal one-on-one feedback, some tips on this eclipse season, then I wanted to let you know that my books are open. I have some spots open for 30-minute eclipse readings. It's one-on-one. We're going to hop on a call together. We're going to pull up your chart and we're going to go through all of the planets in your specific chart, how they're being affected by this eclipse. This video only goes to the houses that are being affected for you, but we're not going to address the planets. So this one-on-one reading is way more precise, way more accurate, and personalized to you. If that's something that you think, yes, I really need that, the booking link is down below and make sure you check it out. Between the 2nd and the 4th of October, we have Mars conjunct the South Node in your 2nd house. And Venus in your 12th house is sextiling them. If you have any tendencies to intellectualize your self-worth, to put your value and your self-esteem into beautiful thoughts and ideas, into harmonic thoughts and ideas, maybe you're a little bit more into philosophy, for example, then starting off in October and actually through the whole month of October, you are being asked to act instead out of your instinct and to step away from you basing your self-esteem on these beautiful ideas and to rather shift a little bit more into the bonding, the passion, the intimacy that you can have with another human being. Throughout the whole summer, you've had Venus traveling through your 12th house, so you might have had a very enriched inner world, inner mind, and perhaps your dreams have been quite vivid, and you've been examining what it is you really believe and what it is that you really believe in the deep, dark parts of your mind. So allow yourself on these first 3 days of October to dig deep into all of the things you learned about your subconscious in the summer and take a look if there is still something left there around your self-worth and around the beautiful ideas that you use to give you self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-worth. As the month goes on, Mars moves away from the South Node, enters the final degrees in Libra, and as it does that, it begins to square Pluto in Capricorn. At the same time, Venus is entering the final degrees of Leo, and it enters Virgo. When it enters Virgo, it begins to oppose Saturn in Pisces. So now we see 2 new houses in the mix for you, and that is your 5th house with Pluto there, and your 7th house with Saturn there. You might have some very old traditional thoughts, some very old traditional approaches as to what constitutes as fun, as to what constitutes as pleasure and enjoyment in your day-to-day life. So during this time, you're really being challenged to take a look at them and to examine again why you are basing your self-worth into these types of activities. It's time to think bigger. It's time to really examine what gives you pleasure and what you can truly base your self-esteem on. It might be a little bit easier from the 8th, 9th, and 10th to actually step into your self-esteem. Venus has entered your 1st house. It's finally done with your 12th house. And having Venus in your 1st might really help you to step into your power, into feeling proud and really showing yourself off. And this might come a little bit at odds with the fact that Saturn, the planet of hardship, is transiting in your relationships house. So there might be a really fine balance that you need to find in the middle of the month between yourself, and your individuality and how you relate to others. But don't worry if it was feeling quite difficult and you didn't want to deal with it and you just shoved everything under the carpet. On the 14th, you get another chance, and you get a big chance because on the 14th, we have a solar eclipse in Libra. We have the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, and the South Node all in Libra in your second house. And all of these planets are loosely squaring Pluto in your fifth house and trining Saturn in your seventh house. So we see the same themes still coming up. They're just getting a little bit more stronger, reaching a crescendo during the solar eclipse. So again, as I repeated earlier, it's really about examining your worth, whether you place it in beautiful objects, beautiful ideas, and rather learn to get to the deep, instinctual, powerful, beautiful side of yourself where you bond with others, where you become intimate with others and allow yourself to feel worthiness and power within that. After the solar eclipse, the planets slowly move away from the South Node, so things should be feeling a little bit more calmed down. However, as the Sun moves away from the South Node, enters its final degrees of Libra, it's, of course, on its way out, squares Pluto in Capricorn. This will be on the 21st, but I do not think it will be very intense. The Sun moves quite quickly, and also at the same time, we have a beautiful aspect between Venus and Jupiter. Venus in your first house is trining Jupiter in your ninth house. If you've done the hard work, the 21st could bring a beautiful reward for you. Venus in your first house will allow you to really step into the beauty of yourself, your unique individuality. And Jupiter in the ninth house might gift you with a beautiful opportunity to learn, explore, and expand your mind. And as the Sun continues to move, it loosens its square to Pluto, enters Scorpio on the 23rd, and as it enters Scorpio, it starts to trine Saturn in Pisces. This is actually a beautiful whole second part of the month for you because the planets, including the Sun, shift out of Libra and enter Scorpio. They enter your third house. So all of the more deeper internal work you did in your second house, establishing your self-esteem, re-examining your self-worth, towards the second part of the month, it's time to actually show it and communicate about it with the rest of the world. And that is what the Sun entering your third house on the 23rd will ask of you. Your relationships might be one of the areas in which you can practice this. Saturn, the planet of hardship, is in your seventh house, and for the next 2 years, Saturn there is asking you to become more mature about all of the boundaries that you tend to collapse, that you tend to get rid of when you step into a relationship. So see if you can use your relationships around you to practice this communication. Saturn is telling you anyways that you need to start being an adult when it comes to your relationships, and all of the planets now in your communication house can really help you make that achievable. Good news, but not so good news. We have a bit of a break, but not too long of a break, because on the 28th, we have a lunar eclipse in Taurus. So the Sun, Mercury, and Mars are in Scorpio in your third house, while the Moon and Jupiter are in Taurus in your ninth house. The theme for this lunar eclipse is communicate, 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 and don't be afraid to not be perfect. The archetype of Scorpio is about wholeness. It's about accepting and voicing all of the ways that we are not perfect. So really use all of these wonderful opportunities that you're getting to learn, to expand, to grow with all of that lovely Jupiter in your ninth house You have a lot of opportunities, so take them, use them, but make sure that at the same time that you are voicing your opinion while you are taking advantage of those opportunities. And finally, we close off the month on the 31st of October with Venus in your first house trining Uranus in your ninth house. So this is the first time that Uranus is actually even becoming a part of this astrology conversation in October. It's remained quite away from everything during the whole month. So all of the ups and downs that you have been experiencing for the last couple of years in regards to expanding and growing and preparing for things. This could be a beautiful time to use that wonderful help of Venus to really step into your power, to really show up as yourself, to stand loud and proud. So overall, I think you got this. I think you can do this, Virgo. There's a lot of wonderful opportunities for you this month to learn more about your self-esteem and self-worth and all of the ways that you rely on other things to give that to you. It's time to really examine that this month. Again, if you want a little bit more extra help, a little bit more extra guidance, don't forget that I am available for personal 30-minute eclipse readings. You can find the link and book down below. Thank you for joining me for today. I do these forecasts every month, so if you want to make sure you catch November, make sure you subscribe. I hope to see you again soon.